What's up guys, Chad here from Shifting Lanes. Today, I'm at my place of work when I'm not writing for Shifting Lanes. That'd be Minebrook Golf Course, located in beautiful Morris County, New Jersey, just on the border with Warren County. But the main reason I'm here is to stage for my vacation this weekend. Spending 3 days down at Seaview. It's just outside Atlantic City. It's one of the best golf courses in the state. It's going to be a hell of a time. But you don't care about that. What you actually care about is how I'm going to be getting there. And that is not in my 2002 Lexus IS300. It's something a little bit nicer, a little bit more special. So at this point you might be thinking, well, why the RCF? They're better cars for the job. Well, you can be excused for thinking that because of the carbon fiber on the roof and the spoiler, the vent on the hood, and all that, that this thing's meant to go up against the M4 or even maybe the M6. However, it's too heavy to be a competitor for the M4 on the track or as a dynamic performance machine, and it just doesn't have enough power to go up against the M6. What it is though, and I think is a great grand tour, great for long trips, like the one we're about to take.
So what makes a great GT car? A great GT car should have three things. It should be comfortable and luxurious. It should have the ability to handle once you get off the highway and onto some back roads. It should have plenty of power. Power to pull away from and get around those lane hoggers on the highway. Power to catapult you out of a corner. Just power, lots of it. But not so much that it basically overpowers the vehicle. It should be right around 400 to 500 horsepower. That's plenty. So now, we're just gonna settle in and get on with the drive. The highway. This is where you kind of find one of the defining characteristics of a good GT car, and that is comfort and luxury. The RCF does this really well. The seats are perforated leather. They may be buckets, but I'm not exactly a skinny man and I fit in them really well. They're really comfortable, really supportive. As far as luxury is concerned, well, you got leather for days, you got bits of carbon fiber accents, everything's easily reachable. That's a feature that's lost on many cars, and that is having the buttons where you'd expect them, have them within easy reach while you're just kind of cruising. Because obviously when you're on the highway and you're doing highway speeds, you don't necessarily want to be looking down to try to find out how to change the radio or how to change the climate control or any of that stuff. Not to mention, you got a bunch of great buttons here on the steering wheel, controlling your radio, controlling your infotainment system, all that fun stuff. Overall, the interior in here is phenomenal. I think Lexus is actually beginning to knock it out of the park when it comes to interior design. The cars are luxurious, they're simple, and they're just really well made. You know, everything has a really quality feel to it. You know, and that's what you want when you're dropping $80,000 on a vehicle. I was actually slightly worried I might get a little bit of a backache driving this car for a long distance, just given the nature of the vehicle and the seats and everything. No backache, which is great. But we're finally getting off the highway, and the highways bore the ever-living crap out of me. Off the highway and onto the back roads, you come to the second part of what makes a great GT car, and that is the ability to handle. Now at 4,000 pounds, this thing is never going to be the razor-sharp weapon something like a BMW M4 is going to be. But that's okay, because frankly, you're never really going to get to the upper limits of this thing safely on public roads. Yes, eventually it will understeer, but I think that's more a product of the era we live in than the car itself. Most cars now are designed to understeer at the limit. It's just much safer. Obviously, you can control a push into a corner more than you can snap oversteer. I mean, we all like to think we're Ken Block and have the car control of a god, but let's face it, most of us don't. So that car that was smooth, comfortable, able to cover great distances very easy and very comfortably transforms into something that is more than capable around the bends, more than capable of giving you that fun factor that all GT cars should have. And lastly, power! The 5-liter naturally aspirated V8 up front produces 467 horsepower and 398 foot-pounds of torque. It was jointly developed by those crazy piano manufacturers at Yamaha, who also have a great deal of experience building some phenomenal motorcycle engines. The biggest thing with this engine in the past, or that people had kind of picked on it for, was that it was a very peaky engine. And what I mean by that is that a lot of the power was at the very top of the rev range. Now, Lexus has done some updates to the engine. They've squeezed a tiny little bit more power out of it. But the best thing they've done to it is they've made the power more accessible throughout the entirety of the rev range. So what that means is that basically anywhere you are in the rev range, it throws you back in the seat. And it is such a breath of fresh air to be driving a car with a proper, naturally aspirated engine. Pretty much all performance cars now, with the exception of a few, are going with that forced induction. Jag does supercharging, BMW is turbocharging now. While those are great for getting big power out of small displacement engines, also great for, turbos are great for efficiency and everything, you lose a little bit of an engine's soul when you add turbocharging to it. You lose that immediacy of the throttle response. You lose that. It's tough to explain. Anyone who's driven a high-power naturally aspirated engine and driven a car with similar horsepower in forced induction form knows what I'm getting on about. This engine has plenty of power. You want somewhere between 400 and 500 horsepower. This falls pretty much right smack in the middle, but it doesn't overpower the car, so you're not worried about standing on it and just overpowering the chassis. It's the perfect amount of power for if you're having a little bit of fun or trying to overtake those lane hoggers on the highway. It's just phenomenal, and it makes a great noise. It's really all you want. When you combine it with the way this thing handles, how comfortable it is, the great interior, the great seats, I think it looks great from the outside. The Mark Levinson stereo really thumps. The RCF is, I think it's gotten a bit of a bad rap from a lot of people. I think it is honestly one of the best two-door Grand Tours you can buy today. And I gotta tell you, this trip down has been great. I'm no backache. I'm comfortable. I have more than enough power to deal with anything that came my way. It's a great car.
And we have arrived. I had a chance to drive the RCF a while back, and to be 100% honest, I wasn't all that impressed with it. Now that I've had some extended time with it, it goes really well, handles way better than I thought. It's super comfortable for long trips. Great little GT car. As you can see, I've recently changed. It's time to go play some golf, have some fun, have a couple beers with the boys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give the little thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. You can find us out on social media at Shifting Lanes, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the whole lot. I'll catch you next time. Have a good one.